Reverting back to the standard-based education curriculum, or SBE, is now compulsory in all schools throughout Papua New Guinea. SBE surrogates the controversial outcome-based education. We talked to the first Assistant Secretary for Curriculum and Development, Titus Romano Atagan, on the differences and the similarities of the two education bases. So thank you very much for making time available to us. You are the first Assistant Secretary of Curriculum and Measurement within the Education Department. Tell us what you do. Tell us about OBE and how it's phased into standards-based education. We need to understand that, please.
Thank you, John, and viewers, and also listeners in Papua New Guinea. I hope what I'm going to present to you will give you some insights and a clear understanding of what we're actually currently doing. Firstly, my role as the first Assistant Secretary for Curriculum and Measurement is basically I'm responsible to look after two divisions. And that's one, the Curriculum Division,
right,
which is the heart of the department itself.
Okay.
The main core functions, and Measurements Division, which is basically just looks after the examinations, grade 8, grade 10, and grade 12. The production of the exam papers, right through to producing the exam papers, and right through to marking. We don't go through the selection. We just provide the details.
That's another section that does that.
The Office of Higher Education is the one with one of our divisions, General Education Service. They normally facilitate that one.
Okay. So in that process, as we get into 2016 and on the back of 2015, are there new challenges in there? Are there things that we need to know about, or you are doing that you had not done before?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Egan. It's very critical at this time when we're going through this change that a lot of people must, more public especially, and more particularly our teachers, parents, and students, must understand the changes that we are actually going through. And that is the major change is the introduction of standard-based curriculum. We have actually used it formally well before the outcome-based came into existence.
Okay.
But then along the line, we've been directed from a public outcry, from parents not happy with the performance of the students, the children.
Under OBE.
That's correct, yes. There are reasons for that. We haven't actually, the department hasn't actually reviewed and making an assessment or monitored the whole OBE thoroughly. But nevertheless, we on the assumption that from the results that were actually displayed by the children, and that sort of concern was raised to Parliament, and the National Executive Council made a decision for us for the department to now look at a way forward to abolish outcome-based education and introduce the standard-based curriculum.
Yes. Is OBE abolished altogether, or are you kind of gradually working into it? What's the situation?
No, tentatively, we haven't totally abolished OBE as yet.
No.
Now, let me put something clear so that the public is also well aware. As we're using OBE and OBC.
Okay.
Those are two different things. Similarly, SPE and SPC. All right. Formerly, we were using the outcome-based education. All right. And now we're transferring now to the standard-based education. The outcome-based education is the big picture.
Right.
All right. Similarly, the standard-based is the big picture. And curriculum is just one component of each of those ones.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the moment, our focus is to now introduce the standard-based curriculum. So we have actually started now.
Okay. And when do you think you'll have this fully implemented and have OBE phased out altogether?
Our proposed,
if you set out the target.
Yes, our proposed intention, and as the implementing period that the department is looking at is by 2019, we should be on a full swing.
All right.
That's from elementary primary, and then the secondary level. So by 2019, we should all be implementing the new standard-based curriculum.
Okay, okay. And so what do you think? Will it eventually mold that bright, educated Papua New Guinean under this system? Or
It will take time.
Yes,
It
yes.
will take time, and just like any interventions and new programs that are introduced, nothing is 100% perfect for a start. So, but we are adamant, and especially with the approach that we're going to use, and that is that the collaborative approach where ourselves as policymakers in the department, and then we have the provinces, the teachers out in the field, and we're basically adamant that we will actually get it rolling. It will take a number of years, but let's be positive about it. That's
okay,
it.
okay. Thanks, Titus. I'll just ask you a broad question, I suppose. Under the government's free tuition fees and all that, is it helping the education department a little bit? Give a little bit of an overall picture of the department.
Well, in a way, yes. Well, we are allowing big number of students to be educated.
Right.
All right. We're allowing access, so all our children can all go to school. Now, I know there are a lot of challenges, like, for example, space availability in schools, the infrastructure, but let's
quality
not,
of education too.
quality of education obviously is the bottom line of that.
Yeah.
It will be affected, and that's it. But nevertheless, let's work. Nothing's impossible to achieve.
Okay, okay. All right, Titus, we are running out of time. And just one final point that you personally, for Papua New Guinea, what do you think should happen to Papua New Guinea with education and with what you do? What would be the ideal thing that you would like?
Well, let's explore a bit further. I mean, we can't deny the fact that our education system has produced a couple of top people in the country
True.
and also in the world.
No.
All right, so we can't say that our education system is not good. No, you talk about the scientists that are now out and talk about the pilots that are flying big airplanes and doctors and geologists and so forth.
Yes.
We have that education system. Let's just work on it. Let's improve it, and let us also be compatible with the rest of the world.
Okay. Have we improved, do you think? Say, compare us from the 80s up till now. Has our standards improved? Has our level of education?
We can't really sort of make a decision that we have not improved in that aspect. But, education is an area where all stakeholders, everybody must have interest in.
Yes.
All right. It's not us only, the department people. The system has gone ahead. We initially had the standard-based education. That's your time and my time.
Sure.
All right. And then eventually switched over to outcome-based education. And just lately, in the last, we're going back to standard-based education. But it has never been made known that it was standard-based education that we were using in the old days.
In the first instance.
That's correct, yes.
All right. I am sure the future is bright. Many Papua New Guineans are bright anyway. So we are running out of time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Ians.
Okay. The first Assistant Secretary for Curriculum and Development of the Education Department, Titus Romano Hatagan. After the break, Trooping of Colors by our Papua New Guinea Defence Force.